Hello, and welcome to Redeeming the Time podcast with your host, Eric Escamilla.
I just want to say first off how thankful I am to see so many faces out here this morning. I woke up really early, it was storming, I got a little concerned about what the day was going to look like, but I think this day actually is incredibly telling for all of us. When I look out and I see all of you, I see great human beings. I also see commitment, and here's what I want you to know about that. If we're going to confront something as dark and as hidden as human trafficking, this is exactly what it's going to take. It's going to take commitment, it takes courage, it takes empathy, compassion. It takes all of us to sometimes stand in places that are really uncomfortable. Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable is what will allow us to start pulling back that curtain and holding people accountable and supporting the survivors that have been impacted by human trafficking. It really is about the reality of trafficking that's happening not just in our country. We often like to think it's not happening in our backyard, but I'm here to stand in front of you today to tell you that it is happening. It's happening in Nebraska, and in our community alone in Lincoln, the number of those impacted and those that we are serving and those investigations that are active within our Special Victims Unit is not zero. It's more than zero, so much that we are continually adding resources to the endeavor to help eradicate it from our community. But more so, I want you to know that the Special Victims Unit that is led by Lieutenant Michelle Herway, who is here, please raise your hand, she's filming me. Our investigators in the Special Victims Unit are working cases today that are expanding beyond the boundaries of the state of Nebraska, and they are actually touching other countries. Just not even gonna look at this. This path for me is a journey. And what I shared in our meeting is at 19 years old, I know there's a whole lot of UNL guys here. Thanks for being here. Yes. Thanks for representing Nebraska and being here. So don't boo me when I say this, but I went to Nebraska Wesleyan University. Still good, still good, still good. Look, I was 19 years old, and I thought I was going to school to be a doctor. But I had an opportunity in a class that I was still taking, sociology, because my minor was still criminal justice. I grew up in law enforcement. My dad was a chief of police, so I still had an interest, even though I thought I was going to forge my own path, still doing that, but differently. I also was a victim of stalking. And so in my first year of college, I got to make some reports to the Lincoln Police Department. And while I had grown up in law enforcement, I didn't really have an understanding of how law enforcement partners and collaborates with victim services and agencies and survivors, and what those collaborations look like and how powerful that they can be. But it took me about 5 minutes on the phone talking to our head of the victim witness unit at the time, and that was Joanna Swoboda Briggs, and I fell in love with her passion. Her commitment to standing and walking with survivors through incredible grief and the horrific things that they share, sometimes standing in silence. And I thought, this is exactly what I need to be a part of. So at 19 years old, I walked into the Lincoln Police Department, and I never walked out. So I stand here in front of you today as the chief, and very much honored to be in this position and continue the ongoing collaborations with so many incredible organizations like I Have a Name. I was here in January, freezing with everybody and listening to the organizations and the commitments of so many that serve in our community, the nonprofits, the businesses, our fraternity at UNL, who decided to put their name on a cause that is more than worthy. And I hope that you recognize that the work that you do in supporting I Have a Name will reach far beyond the boundaries of the state of Nebraska. At some point, someone that you know in your backyard, your family, or your friends will be impacted by human trafficking. Have a great rest of the morning.
I don't know how anybody's going to follow that up. I can't say enough about her strength, her courage, her love, and I don't know. She's an amazing, amazing, amazing person. So at this time, I'm going to invite a Nebraska Survivor up, and her name is Elizabeth. So please, as loud as you can, let's welcome Elizabeth.
Good morning, everyone. First, I would just want to say thank you for being here. I stand here today as an adult. I stand here as a survivor. But the things that shaped my story didn't start in adulthood. They started when I was a child. What happened to me carried into my teenage years and into adulthood. And for a long time, I didn't have the words for it. I didn't have the support. I didn't have people standing beside me saying, "We believe you." When I was in one of the most vulnerable seasons of my life, people showed up. They didn't just say they cared, they proved it. When I was heard, I wasn't brushed, I wasn't silenced, I wasn't minimized. I was listened to, and I was understood for what I actually needed. I began to grow in confidence and in sharing the truth. And here's something I've learned. Any system that collapses because of the truth isn't a system I want to be a part of. I want to be part of something that values the truth, something that honors people, something that loves people, something that meets people exactly where they are and helps them to learn to thrive. This work is not just about crisis response. It's about advocacy. It's about prevention. It's about building people up before someone else tries to break them down. It's about teaching them to trust themselves, to build self-esteem, to know they are not alone, to know that they are loved, to know that they are believed. Because when you are trapped in trafficking and abuse, one of the biggest lies you believe is that no one cares and no one will come save you. Advocacy changes that. It plants seeds of hope. It tells people that they are safe in this world. that there are people that they can trust in the most vulnerable moments of their life. And when someone begins learning how to live in life in safety, surrounded by love and support, that changes everything. Sorry. Human trafficking is happening now. Human trafficking is happening now, but it has always been a problem. We have more information than ever before. We can't pretend we don't see it. We can't pretend we don't know. We need to stand together. Accountability will not happen unless we stand together. For all victims and all survivors, stand with us, speak with us. Because when we stand together, systems change. When we stand together, silence breaks. When we stand together, healing becomes possible. To everyone who chooses to support us, you have changed my life. And not just mine. You have changed the lives of so many others whose names you may never know. Because of you, victims become survivors, and survivors become thrivers. Healing from generations of trauma, abuse, and trafficking takes community. It takes truth, it takes courage, and it takes people willing to step into hard places and to bring light. But ultimately, to God be all my glory. Thank you for walking for freedom today.
Thank you, Elizabeth.